I just want to know, when you have an overweight Batman, an underweight Flash with a bowl cut, a pregnant Wonder Woman, an Aquaman with mismatching tattoos, and a Superman that needs to have his face CGI'd due to a moustache that he has to grow for another film, and an actor who is accusing your director of racist and sexist behaviour, as well as reports from other people as well, including the Wonder Woman actress. At what point do you think that maybe reshooting the majority of this film isn't a good idea and isn't exactly worth it? Hello, I'm Jack, and this is Entertainment World, and today I'll be talking about Justice League 2017, which was written and directed by Joss Whedon, and I don't like to swear at people, but anybody who tries to argue with me over that can fuck off, because this film was written and directed by Joss Whedon, and was based off a film which was written by Chris Terrio and directed by Zack Snyder, that was then, I don't know how to word it, butchered, edited, massacred, slaughtered, destroyed, obliterated, any word like that, and turned into, well, this film, which had a huge a huge amount, let's say, that was written and directed by Joss Whedon. Now, some people will tell you that Joss Whedon directed 50 minutes of this film. Some people will tell you directed an hour of this film. Some people will tell you directed anywhere from 1 hour 20 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes of this film. Now, obviously, I don't know with 100% certainty which is true. However, I do believe that about 1 hour 20 minutes of this film was Joss Whedon, on the basis that a lot of people, the actor who played Cyborg, Ray Fisher, and the cinematographer for Zack's film, Fabian Wagner, said that the majority of that film was Joss Whedon. And Zack Snyder can't comment because he hasn't watched this film, so ironically, the one person who you would think, oh, I know who to ask, is actually like the one person you can't ask because he doesn't know. So, he doesn't know how much of this film is his. He says it could be this amount. I don't know. He's like, from what people tell me. Either way, this film, I say, is enough to say it's directed by Joss Whedon, because even if 40 minutes of it is Zack Snyder, it was taken so out of context that, and Joss Whedon changed it so much that it would fit to what Joss Whedon wanted, no longer what Zack Snyder wanted, even if it was footage, directed by Zack Snyder. And it was colour corrected, edited, effects removed, effects added, so it's, you can't say it's Zack Snyder's even if Zack Snyder filmed the footage. However, I'm just putting that out there now, that this film is directed by Joss Whedon and written by Joss Whedon, and is based off a film directed by Zack Snyder and written by Chris Terrio, in my opinion. But the thing is also, really quickly, Zack Snyder made several cuts of the film. He made his cut, which is 4 hours long, and will be releasing later this year. It's Friday now. It's the 5th, so it will be releasing in just under 2 weeks' time. And I wanted to do this, I wanted to get these films done before then, so I'm going to be trying to do this as quick as I can. However, due to how I'm filming this and how I'm going about it and the amount of time I have, I don't know if I'll be able to film this all in one day. Just in case you like watch it and for some reason my appearance is completely different, like Justice League, in that my clothes are different, my hair's completely different in terms of, you know, how I've brushed it, and I look like a different complexion and sort of like more tired, more awake, more whatever, just so you know, just in case I can't film this all in one day. So I just realised in all that talking that I never said what the other cut of the film was, one of the other cuts, and that was Zack Snyder had a theatrical cut, which is not the film I'm talking about. You know, he had his 4-hour-long film, which he calls his uncompromised cut, and he had his theatrical cut, which he calls his compromised cut. And that was 2 hours 20 minutes, I think. Had a change Steppenwolf, had things added, a lot of stuff removed, obviously. Never watched it. Don't think we'll ever watch. You know, none of us have watched it. No, it's not public. Don't think we'll ever watch it, and I'm not going to ask for it to be released because it's not completed, not done anything with, and I'm not going to ask for it to be completed on the basis that I don't want to watch it, really. It'll just be a compromised, weird version of a 4-hour-long film, so I don't really want to watch it. Anyway, I just wanted to say that there's that cut. He made several cuts of this film. I don't know how many he made, but there's his uncompromised cut, at least, and his uncompromised cut, and then there's this film, which, again, is mostly a completely different person doing it. So, anyway, sorry, now with the rest of the video, I just wanted to say that really quickly. So, anyway, I'll be getting into it now. This review will also be very different from my previous reviews, in the sense that I'm going to be going into much more depth than usual. I'll be talking about a lot of things in sort of poking fun sort of way. Just so you know that it will be quite different from my previous reviews. Anyway, I'll now be getting into the review now. So the film starts off, and oh my god guys, Superman's back, he's alive, yay! Hi, yeah, so, no offence, but can we get to the point of the film where you're dead again, please? Thank you, because, that would be great. So after whatever the hell that was, the film then cuts to a burglar on a rooftop who then spots Batman. He then decides to try and kill Batman, because clearly in his mind he thinks he's the most qualified person for that job. But then of course is immediately then captured by Batman, but only to introduce this plot point.
What are you doing? No, wait! No, wait! 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 Please! Please, man! Please! What do you want from me?
Fear. I can smell it.
What then ensues is Batman holding on to this random parademon flying around Gotham City, just to point out this plot point as well, which is that parademons don't like this random sound for some reason. So after all of that, they somehow crash land back on the same rooftop they were just on, and after Batman captures the parademon, there is a really unflattering shot of him, let's just put it that way. But then what proceeds to happen after that is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in any film ever made.
What the hell?
That's right, the parademon blows up, leaving the symbols of what Batman needs to find with its blood. Now, I might not be a genius storyteller, I might not be a Hollywood writer, but what I do know is that is one of the laziest things, pieces of storytelling, writing, plot convenience, just general fuckery I've ever seen in my life. That is so very, very poor on so many levels. That is incredibly awful. I can't believe that is what they went with. That is just ridiculous.
What was that?
A scout.
What are you talking to this guy for? He's a random burglar. Stop telling him stuff.
It's 'cause they know he's dead, right? Superman. He's gone. Where does that leave us?
I'm sorry, why are you giving a moral speech right now? Oh, you're just gonna leave him then, Batman? Oh, okay, I guess that's cool. Whatever.
I just wanted to mention that this also happened during that scene. I mean, after all of that stupidity, we can't only just be 2 scenes in, right? Right? Anyway, after Batman talks to the burglar who just stole a bunch of property and then tried to murder him, he then lets him go for some reason. Literally, stole a bunch of property, tried to murder him, and his punishment is just finding things out and then being let go. Okay, yeah, amazing. I just want to point out that we are 2 scenes in, and so far, both of those scenes are Joss Whedon. So meaning, if you stop the film after like 5 minutes, a film which is directed by Zack Snyder, the entirety of what you've just watched was just done by Joss Whedon. So that should say something in itself. Literally, so far, the whole film has been Joss Whedon, which is just mental. And so far, the film's been fucking ridiculous. Again, says something. So anyway, after those 2 shit bomb scenes, we then get the opening credits, which I'm not going to talk about much because it's just condensed footage, scenes, things which would have been scenes just montaged into like 1, 2, 3 minute long thing. I will just say that again, this happens in the opening credits.
Everybody knows.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
So after the first few minutes of the film and then the opening credits, which I actually enjoyed the song Everybody Knows by Sigri, I think the singer's called. You know, that's not bad. That isn't a bad song. The opening credits aren't bad. They're actually quite enjoyable. But you can tell that the footage that was in the opening credit montage, for some of it, was meant to be an actual scene and not just opening credits, if that makes sense. It was not meant to be montaged. Sorry, I just adjusted my camera slightly. So yeah, that was weird. The whole film was weird. I'm just going to say a few things now. So I'm doing a proper review, not just looking at every single scene in the film and talking about it, because I can't do that. But yeah, this film is incredibly rushed. It's got a runtime of 2 hours, but that includes end credits and 2 credit scenes. So when you think about it, the film's the film's 1 hour 49 minutes, or 48, 1 hour 48 or 1 hour 49. It's just so short. That is way too short for a film like Justice League. I mean, things like Ant-Man have more screen time than that. So that's such a short film. And the character introductions are rubbish. I mean, Cyborg's is terrible. Cyborg is just in his apartment, sad. You see that he's grumpy and that he's pissed off because he's been turned into Cyborg. But that's it. That's as far as his development goes. You know, you see in the trailers and obviously in Zack's cut when that comes out, he's an ex-football player. He was really good at it. He had a great relationship with his mum, but no relationship with his dad. You see why it's affected him so much and all of these things and how he's not socially accepted and things like that. In this film, you don't get any of that. He's just pissed off guy in his apartment, sulking, as his dad's like, hey, you can go outside. And Cyborg's like, no, I don't want to go outside. You shouldn't have done this. And they have like a discussion about that and all of this and nothing ever happens. It doesn't go anywhere, really. It's just like, okay, he's a depressed guy. Alright, that's his character, is just depressed guy.
With its energy, get it powered up.
Does anybody know?
What?
At the lab. Does anybody know I'm alive?
I didn't think you were ready for them to...
For what? For them to see the monster.
You are not a monster.
It's weird that you thought I meant me.
It doesn't delve into why, it doesn't give him anything interesting to do. Throughout the film, all he is just pissed off. The whole thing. I'm not saying him being pissed off is a bad thing. Oh, that's a poor choice. But that is all he is in the film, is just moping. Because he's cyborg. And being flippant with people. And then at the end he decides that he likes being cyborg quite randomly. And it's just a very lazy character arc. Well, he doesn't have one at all, really. He's just pissed off guy till he's not. So that's not very interesting. Flash has a better introduction because you get to see a heartfelt conversation with his dad, although things like this happen.
Hurry it up, will you? What, you got a problem?
No, there's no problem.
Better not be.
Are those prescription? Or are you just trying to look brainy?
But he has more character to, he has a better character introduction. I like the scene with his dad. That is a good scene. And it is quite heartfelt. Although that is in the Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer, so to me... And also, sorry, the dad is played by the Dr. Manhattan actor. So that to me screams Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio. I'm not saying Joss Whedon wouldn't have had any input in that, but that to me feels like a Zack Snyder scene. And that's good. So he's a better introduction, especially compared to Cyborg, who has just the most non-character introduction in the history of character introductions. And then Batman recruits Flash, and I've got to talk about this scene a bit more in depth because, fuck me, one of the worst pieces of the entire film, one of the most famous scenes in the whole film is in this. Okay, so it starts off, and for some reason there's Asian dancing girls on the computer opposed to the skull in the original in Zack's trailers, and I don't understand why. I'm not saying you can't watch that or it's bad to watch that. I just feel like it was a random thing to change, and I think a bit of a random thing to change it to, from a skull, if that makes sense, to like weird pop music with that. Or I don't understand what, like, it doesn't change his character. Like, what? There's so many little changes like that in this film. Or just, you watch the trailer and they take a line out, and I don't understand why. What about the characters does that affect? And it was such a bizarre thing to just change, in my opinion. Again, not saying you can't like that sort of thing. I'm not, knocking the music itself. I just don't understand what the purpose of that change was, really. I mean, it's so random you could almost not nitpick it, but it's also so random you sit there thinking, why, what's the point? Anyway, so then the scene plays out, and it plays out quite Zack Snyder-y, although it seems edited. It seems like very chopped. They just sort of like half interrupt each other, the Flash and Batman, that is, because of how just quick the shots are edited together. But that's alright. And then it gets to this scene here that I need to talk about. Look, just picture this. Listen to this. Listen to me here. So you're Batman. Picture you're Batman. You've been Batman for 20 years. You've been involved in the death of Superman, and now you know aliens are coming to destroy Earth. You know, and you're very serious. You're Ben Affleck Batman. What a point out. You're Ben Affleck Batman. You're not just Batman, you're Ben Affleck Batman. And you go to recruit somebody to help save the world from this imminent threat you know is arriving. The biggest threat imaginable. You know, humans couldn't comprehend how big a threat it is. And you've got to put a team together to stop them. And the first person who agrees with you, the first person who says, yes, I want to join in on this team to go fight those aliens, the first thing that comes out of his mouth, once you've explained this situation, is that he doesn't understand the concept of brunch. Imagine you explaining to that, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, what is brunch? Obviously there's the whole, you know, I sort of need friends, which is cool. I like that scene. I like that, and I think it suits the Flash in this scenario, and I did enjoy that. But what is brunch? What is brunch? You wait an hour for what is essentially lunch. That is what brunch is. Because people are just a little bit slow. What were they thinking? What was Joss thinking? At what point do you sit there and go, this is a good idea, I'm a good writer, this is genius, yes, this is what I want in my film? Flash doesn't understand what fucking brunch is. I really think he was like, yes, genius writing, good idea, so proud of myself, yes, this is amazing. God, I love cocaine. Because otherwise it does not explain how else you explain that mindset. That's you have to be on something. You have to be drunk, high, fucking taking everything to get to that point and be like, yes, this is what I want in my film. My film, Flash doesn't understand brunch. Screenwriting. Also, I've never seen, well, I have seen some, but this has got to be some of the worst continuity I've ever seen in any film ever, especially one which had a fucking budget of $300 million. Jesus Christ. People who have had a budget of $300 have made more continuity than whatever the hell this was. So you go from Flash, he looks normal, and then in the next shot, he's got a different haircut. It's a bowl cut. I mean, I know my hair changes a lot, but it's a completely different hair length, shape, look. He looks so underweight as well. He's gone from looking normal to looking gaunt, like he needs some form of treatment. Like, he looks starved. That's not a good look. He looks so gaunt and pale as well. He's like, because he did Fantastic Beasts, so he's gone from normal Flash build to that. And then it cuts to Batman, who's put on weight. He's sitting there with he's standing there with a stupid look on his face. What's the point in that? Like, on it, and then it goes back with the Flash, and then goes back to him being normal looking when he goes, can I keep this? Which was Zack Snyder. So, just watch this scene here.
Together a team. People with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are?
Yeah, I need friends. People are difficult. They require a lot of focus. They have like a rhythm that I haven't quite been able to... Like brunch. Like, what is brunch? You wait in line for an hour for essentially lunch. I mean, I don't know. People are a little slow.
I'll try to keep up.
Can I keep this?
And then just look at this shot compared to this shot. And then this shot compared to this shot. It is some of the worst continuity I've ever seen in a film, And how the fuck did that cost $300 million? What were you thinking? How? Why would you film that? Why would you do that? Why is that? And it's not even like you're doing it because you need to. You did that so Flash wouldn't understand what brunch was. Why? Why? What? Just... Why? I know I keep saying it, but why? Why, Joss? Joss, why? Why? Like... You made them look like that. Just so you could have Flash not understand the concept of brunch. And you have the audacity to make fun of Zack's cut of the film, which is what a lot of people said you've done, right? So if you didn't, let's just say on the 1% chance you didn't do it, because I've heard enough about you recently to know that you probably fucking did, and that's what you do in your spare time? That is what you think makes good cinema? And I understand Warner Brothers might have been going, do this. But surely, if you're somebody as famous as Joss Whedon, or as well known as Joss Whedon, and you were told to make something funny, you'd put more effort into it than Flash not understanding fucking food. Anyway, rant over. I just had to talk about that scene. I just had to talk about that scene. Because, why? Also, I forgot to mention Aquaman, but Aquaman has an introduction. It's an introduction.
An introduction that, not unlike the Flash's, has really choppy editing, feels very cut down, and has incredibly obvious reshoots, which are just mind-bogglingly, like, how did this happen? Especially with Ben Affleck. He just changes weight and beard just like that, and then goes straight back to how he was originally. It looks terrible. I have no idea what Joss Whedon was thinking. It just looks so obvious and bad. Also, the thing is, the way it's all chopped and edited together, it just makes this scene feel boring, and the acting very, like, wooden and unconvincing. Now, I know some of it is Snyder's. However, it's just the way, like I said, the way it's just edited, it just makes the whole thing come across like that. Like, poorly edited and chopped up, and I don't know. It's just the way the whole scene feels and is constructive just makes everything feel less. Even the things which probably would be okay had they just been left in the first place. And that's just that could just be me. It's just to me that everything in this scene just feels incredibly choppy due to the way that it was chopped, reshot, edited. The acting in the reshoots is very wooden. You can tell Ben Affleck doesn't really want to be there, and the scenes which Jason Momoa, which were shot, you can tell that he doesn't want to be there either. And then the scenes which are Snyder just feel really weird and out of place due to the fact that he keeps swapping in between the two things. So the whole thing just comes across as bad, even though not everything is bad. Also this here.
Boxes are, and I'll make it 30.
Yeah, so if the exploding parademon wasn't enough, we now have a really bad drawing in this village in the middle of nowhere, which basically further explains the mother boxes, and it also depicts Aquaman as the protector of them, even though they should have absolutely no idea what the mother boxes are, nor that Aquaman is the king of Atlantis. And even Aquaman doesn't have anything to do with Atlantis. I mean, he's the rightful king, he's not the actual king. And that's the thing, is that what if considering the plot of this film, in that with Aquaman, is that he's the rightful king, but he doesn't want to be the king, and he doesn't have anything to do with Atlantis, and all of these things, why is there a picture of a shirtless him, sorry, a painting of a shirtless him like protecting 3 mother boxes when he has absolutely nothing to do with them, and why do they know what the mother boxes are, and why is there a painting of it, and even after all of those things, why is it so terrible as well? It's just the whole thing, introduction again, is just a mess.
I mean, I love Ben Affleck, I do, I really do. I love Ben Affleck, and I love him as Batman. BVS Batman. One of my, tied with Christian Bale, because they're to me, they're too different to say which one's better. I understand if you have a clear-cut favourite, good on you. I can't. So I apologise. But I love Ben Affleck as Batman. Ben Affleck is, when I think of Batman, Ben Affleck is what comes to my mind. Obviously, I know you could say, so why do you like him as much as Christian Bale? But it's when I think about it, I like the Nolan trilogy. But I just picture Ben Affleck as Batman. He's what comes to my mind when you say Batman. But you could tell he did not want to be here through, like, 75% of the film. Ben Affleck doesn't want to be there. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. He could have literally stood there just doing this, because he doesn't like, yeah. It would have been better than this.
Listen, I was wondering if you could put out the feeler, the aquatic, do you talk to fish?
The water does the talking.
Of course.
So, yeah. That's a thing. That's not his introduction, I just had to talk about that as well. I'm losing the will to live thinking about this, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so the acting is bad in that scene. Ben Affleck didn't want to be there. It's so boring and everyone's just standing there like, I don't want to be here either. And then the drawing, everything's just so poor. Especially, I know that's not Zack because the angles are different. Ben Affleck's a completely different weight. His beard's different, and he actually sounds... There's a difference between serious and boring. In Zack's version, he sounds serious, and Whedon's, he sounds so fucking bored. You can tell he's like, I already did this. Why do I doing it again? I'm now overweight, and I think he's probably self-conscious about that as well. He knows he's not in Batman shape. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine knowing you're not in Batman shape and being told to play Batman again? Oh, fuck me. You'd be so self-conscious. I love Ben Affleck, and on the 0.000000001% chance that Ben Affleck, you're watching this, please come back as Batman. I do love you as Batman. This is not your fault. This isn't your fault. Really, it isn't. I don't blame this on you. You are still Batman. Be Batman. But yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, and then not only does it have some of the most unconvincing acting ever, it also has some of the worst green screen ever. I mean, look at this masterpiece. Whew. People who've, done like YouTube videos with a green screen background have better green screen than that. Oh, and the Aquaman's tattoos keep changing between each shot as well, to just, for the cherry on the cake. Bad acting, bad screen, can't get the tattoos right. So, yeah. So those are the introductions to each character. You've got Cyborg's pissed off, Flash has a heartfelt moment, but then decides he can't figure out grunge, and then Aquaman's tattoos are wrong, and green screen icebergs. Because, why not? You got to start them off somewhere. Might as well start them off like that. So now, having talked about the character introductions, or lack of character introduction, the next character I need to talk about is the main villain, Steppenpoodle. I'm not calling him Steppenwolf. He's going to be Steppenpoodle or Stepperdog or anything like that, but I'm not calling him Steppenwolf. For the time being, he's Steppenpoodle. So the film introduces Steppenpoodle in Themyscira. He tries to collect the first mother box, because that's what the plot of the film is. He's trying to collect the 3 mother boxes to form the Unity, to terraform the Earth sort of is quite flimsy about what it is. Including at one point he says he can't do the Unity, but then seems to proceed to do it anyway. It's very weird, very lazy, very rushed. Just like everything else really with this film. So, yeah, that's trying to describe that as brief as I can. So he gets the first mother box, because there's 3 of them, and he invades Themyscira. And just before I continue talking about here, there's something I've got to point out about this character, and it's something he says quite a lot throughout the film.
Mother, millennia in exile, searching. At last you call me home. I see, Mother. I see why you waited to summon me. I know, Mother. You've waited too long for the Unity. I know, but you will feed. You are a distraction. Mother is calling. Not well. Discuss, Mother. He's power, and power is the only law.
That's right, he keeps calling the mother boxes Mother. And aside from the fact they're called mother boxes, you never find out why. This film never explains why. I know Zack gave an explanation to part of it, but in Zack's cut he doesn't call them Mother every 10 minutes. But in this film, he says Mother an awful lot. The film doesn't really explain why. So, you know, whatever at this point. So, Steppenpoodle invades Themyscira, gets the first mother box. A lot of this footage is actually Zack's, although the Steppenwolf design was changed from his original design, because the original design was deemed too scary for children, so whatever the fuck that meant. So then we got whatever the hell this was. Yeah. And it's quite a good scene. It's the best scene with Steppenwolf really in the film, because like I said, a lot of it was Zack Snyder, although again heavily cut down, and probably only like a third of the footage that was used like in this film was out of what Zack shot, because you see he released a little clip of it. And that was a whole little fight scene, part of this fight, sequence, not in the film. The part where they're in the place where they're keeping the mother box, that seemed to be a lot longer as well in Zack's advertised footage. This whole sequence in the theatrical cut's like 2 to 3 minutes long, and I bet in Zack Snyder's is like 8 to 10 minutes long. That's just a guess, but from what I can tell. But yeah, it's just really short, not very long, not very nothing much happens because a lot of stuff was cut out. He just sort of shows up, kills some Amazon warriors, and then fucks off with the mother box, and says some things that don't really mean a lot, and it's not particularly massively interesting. It's because, like I said, a lot was cut out, but it is still somehow the most entertaining part of this film. So, well, at least one of the most entertaining parts. So yeah, I just had to talk about him quickly, and again, he then goes to Atlantis to steal the second mother box. And again, nothing really happens there. That's another 2-minute long thing, where it's just the same sort of thing. He just shows up and just takes things. Doesn't seem to be much struggle. He just shows up, is like mine, and then leaves. So yeah, and the Atlantean one is even worse, because it's just him. It's just him. He's got no parademons. He hasn't brought his army. Yet you can see in the background, when it's just Aquaman and Mera after the fight has taken place, you can see dead Atlanteans and parademons floating around. And it's the same during the fight as well. And you're like, where the hell did they come from? There was no Atlanteans there. really, and no parademons. So why all of a sudden are there loads of dead bodies? Well, because clearly there was an action sequence that was cut out, like a lot of things were, because too scary, too long, too this, too that. So we've just got this heavily watered down fight between Mira and the edited, choppy looking Steppenpoodle, and overall just not that massively interesting. So yeah, I mean, even though they're not going to be hugely different in Zack's cut, they will be longer, there'll be more of a battle, they'll be more interesting, it'll be more intense, it'll be more scary, and you'll believe what's going on. This version's just like, he shows up, has a brief encounter with whoever it is, takes the mother box without much struggle or effort, and just fucks off. So yeah, entertaining. And I'm not going to talk about how he gets the third mother box, because he does. I'll save that till later, because that needs to be spoken about itself, because that is just fucking ridiculous. So yeah, it's just, I don't get why they cut so much out. It's so basic. Even when I was younger and I watched this, I knew how basic it was. It's just, bad guy wants 3 things, gets 3 things, gets them basically first try with each attempt, goes without much effort, makes thing, does the stuff, and it's just so basic and poorly done and so lazy. As well, because, you know, in Zack's cut, Steppenwolf was meant to work for Darkseid. Darkseid's the big bad. He's the boss of it all. He's the king. And Steppenwolf's his henchman, a general. But Darkseid was completely cut out of the film, apart from one brief mention.
For the unity! For Darkseid.
Which I don't understand, because if you're going to completely cut him out, why put that little thing in? Because that's just random, and if you're trying to do it as an Easter egg, it's just getting your hopes up. Because, oh, will we see him? No. And anybody who doesn't read the comics, who might, you know, go with their children or whatever to watch it, at one point he just randomly says, for the unity, for Darkseid. And you'd be like, who the fuck is Darkseid? And this film never explains who Darkseid is. Doesn't make an appearance, doesn't explain it, nothing. And there's the history lesson scene with Steppenwolf as well, which explains his backstory. But again, originally it was meant to be a young Darkseid before he was called Darkseid, and his name was Euxus. So again, it's just cut out, replaced, edited, watered down. So you go from Steppenwolf, who in the original cut, his motive was apparently he wanted to get the mother boxes, which had his mother's trolls trapped in there, to get the power of the Unity and use it to overthrow Darkseid because he's fed up of being his servant. That's a cool plot. To just in Justice League, guy who was angry he lost thousands of years ago comes back because he's still angry he lost thousands of years ago, to do what he did again thousands of years ago, except from this time in his mind he wants to do it the right way. So it's just very lazy. It's just not much of a motive, because like, why was he doing it in the first place? You know, so had he not done it in the first place, there would be no film. Doesn't really explain to why he wanted to do it, and then his motive just basically is pissed off because he lost, so now wants to do it again and get his mother boxes back, which he just refers to as mother, which this film doesn't explain. And not really do much, because again this film was trying to not be very scary, so you just have this villain who's like, oh yes, I'm evil and I will talk like in a threatening manner, but I'm not going to do a lot because, you know, got to get that PG-13 rating, so I'm just going to sort of like stand here and talk a lot about things that don't really mean anything, because nobody can be bothered to explain any of what I'm saying. So yes, that is me as the villain, Steppenpoodle. Yeah, it's just so lazy, so poor. I like his voice, that's what I will say. As a positive, I know it's meant to be even more deep in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but he does have the voice. It does come across as quite menacing in a few places.
Run!
So I will give him that. Kieran Hines, did a good job playing him. I don't blame him for this. I just blame it the fact that they cut so much stuff out, didn't explain anything. Joss Whedon obviously put in his touches, which of course, like with the rest of it, weren't very good. Redesign everything. So it's just like, and a good actor giving a good performance in a character that doesn't make a lot of sense, isn't very threatening, has a not very good design, limited screen time, no motive, poor CGI in frequent places. So overall, it's hard to just say yes, this is a good villain, because it really isn't. But I don't want to say it's a terrible villain, because that isn't fair on the actor who played him well. And that's why I'm really looking forward to Zack Snyder's Justice League, because if you take that voice, you make it deeper and scarier like it was meant to be, and give him the original design, the original motives, the backstory and the explanation to things, he has the potential to be a great villain. It's just you take all that away and you get Steppenpoodle, who at his best moments says some threatening things, at his worst moments is a huge fucking derp who just gets obliterated by Superman when Superman finally shows up at the end. So yeah, not exactly a great villain. His army of parademons, I do like the parademons. I think they're very good henchman villains. Although again, would have been better in Zack's version, and the whole they smell fear and the whole don't like sound is only used once after they're pointed out. And that is only for 2 plot points later on in the film, as if it's a really clever arc, and it's really not, because they only mention it later on for the sake of convenience, and they only introduced it earlier on for the sake of convenience, so not exactly genius storytelling. But they do quite threatening, considering all of that. So overall, like I said, derpy main villain, cool henchman, but with 2 incredibly stupid weaknesses, and not much explanation or seem to be much point to what is happening. So there you go, that's Justice League with its main threat. Doesn't make sense, no motive, not very threatening, don't really care. It's not exactly good when the whole point of the Justice League is to, band together to stop this imminent threat, and the imminent threat is this, and this, and this, and that, and why. It doesn't work particularly well. So yeah, that's another little bit of a letdown, was Steppenpoodle and his army. Poor choices. So very, very poor choices. I can't wait for them to correct it in the proper version that Zack wanted to do.
Is this guy still bothering you?
So now that I've talked about the characters' weird introductions and then Steppenwolf's arrival and plan and all of that, I'm now going to get into the first fight scene with the League and Steppenwolf. So now what's happened is Batman's gone to get Flash. Flash agreed right off the bat. Wonder Woman went to get Cyborg, who said no and then arrived later anyway, which is fine. It just seemed to be a bit of a quick character change, just a bit too rushed. And it's the same with Aquaman. Again, very brief conversation. I'm not joining you. Has a little encounter with Steppenwolf. Has a 30-second long conversation with Mira, and is like, fine, I'm going to join the Justice League. So, although he doesn't arrive until the end of this fight. Anyway, so the main team get together of Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. They go to see Commissioner Gordon. Cyborg arrives there, and they then go under Gotham Harbour to find Steppenwolf, who has been kidnapping people who worked at Star Labs to find out where the third mother box is being kept. Now, this is my favourite sequence of the film. It has some good action, has a few good Steppenwolf moments, although again, like with everything else with this film, it is littered with Joss Whedon reshoots and dialogue, and it is so. This is one of the points of the film where it's most noticeable in terms of like, yeah, that's clearly Joss Whedon, because some of the shit the characters say throughout the scene is fucking mental. But I'm going to now talk about this sequence because I do like quite a bit of it, but I also fucking hate some of it. So I just want to talk about this little scene here, especially as it's like the first scene between Justice League and Steppenwolf, and the first of two. There's only two. This is 50% of their encounter. So yeah, there's only two fights, so I'm going to talk about this one quickly.
So the scene starts off with the League, which at the moment contains Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash and Cyborg, going under Gotham Harbour to try and find Steppenwolf and his parademons who have kidnapped several employees from Star Labs, including Cyborg's dad. This also happens to be one of the only times Steppenwolf says or does anything even remotely sinister.
Just tell me the truth.
Please just let us go. I have a family.
Wrong answer. You've been near the mother box. Her scent is on you.
Please, we have families.
Why does everyone keep telling me that? Useless! You then. Where is my mother box?
I will die before I tell you.
At last, one that doesn't whine. But you will scream.
So before the big battle starts, we get some amazing dialogue from The Flash.
Right, okay, yeah, here's the thing. See, I'm afraid of bugs and, guns and obnoxiously tall people and murder, and I can't be here. It's really cool, you guys seem ready to do battle and stuff, but full transparency, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
Batman is just standing there regretting all of his decisions and thinking, why the fuck did I bring this dipshit with me? So anyway, the action scene then starts up, and I'm not going to lie, but there are quite a lot of cool moments throughout the entire sequence. And it is my favourite action scene of this film. It also contains my favourite quote from Steppenwolf.
You overestimate yourself.
Child, my axe is still slick with the blood of your sisters.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, that was really cool and sinister. However, unfortunately, as cool as some of the action in this sequence is also littered with things like this.
Jesus, he is tall.
Also, with that Flash falling on Wonder Woman joke, for starters, that isn't Gal Gadot because she refused to do that scene, so Joss Whedon used the stunt double. That in itself should have been a good indication that that joke is probably not a very good idea. But he did it anyway. But also, with that whole thing, I'm going to show you this clip here from Avengers Age of Ultron.
Sorry. Don't turn green. I won't.
And now I'm going to show you this clip from Justice League again. He did the same joke in two films. Why? Oh god. If that doesn't scream that it's a Joss Whedon scene, I don't know what will. That is just fucking ridiculous. That is just really bad.
So to wrap this up quickly, the fight ends with the Justice League almost being defeated by Steppenwolf, who leaves, but before doing so causes the entire area to flood, which means the Justice League almost drown. However, they are saved at the last second by Aquaman, who shows up and blocks the water from reaching them, which gives them time to escape.
Oh, come on. The change engine.
Did he just bail?
So after all of that, the Justice League regroup at the Batcave, which isn't actually the Batcave. What happened was, in Zack's cut of the film, there's meant to be two locations. There's the Batcave, and then there's a warehouse owned by Bruce Wayne. And the reason why he owns this warehouse is because he's built a new ship called the Flying Fox, I believe that's the name, and he can't fit that ship, that big plane, inside the Batcave because it's massively big. It's way too big to fit in the Batcave. So he puts it in this warehouse that he's bought and is keeping it there. Obviously he's Bruce Wayne, he's a billionaire, he could buy almost any warehouse he wants and put anything he wants in it. But Joss Whedon, being Joss Whedon and cutting a shit ton out, decided to just morph the two locations into one. So this warehouse is now the Batcave, even though it's obviously a warehouse, and you can actually see light coming in, which shows it's above ground. God, I mean, okay, and it's just really fucking stupid. Especially then later on in the film, they appear to be in what is actually the Batcave. But honestly, I can't judge, I can't think about it anymore. So anyway, they're in the Batcave, which is not the Batcave, which just makes this line.
Wow, it's like a cave. Like a bat cave.
Even dumber than it already is. So anyway, in the biggest shift of character ever, Batman decides that they are fucked completely and they need Superman. Keep in mind, the first 50 minutes of this film, Batman is trying to get the League together. He needs to put a League together to save the world from Steppenwolf. He gets 4 people together, has one 4-minute long fight with Steppenwolf in which not an awful lot happens, because Aquaman also wasn't there until, the very end. And after that, he goes from deciding to need the League to immediately deciding that the League aren't enough, they're never going to be enough, and they need Superman. Essentially implies that he needs Superman to do everything for him. Which, I know in Zack's cut as well, he decides they need to bring Superman back. But it's just such a huge shift from need to put a League together, need to get a League together to save the world, to, well, we're all fucked after one 4-minute long fight where you're missing a member, as in not just Superman, they're also missing Aquaman, and nothing really happens. It was just mental. It was just such a huge shift in character and motivation in such a short period of time. It's like Gorgo level bad, Gorgo in 300 Rise of an Empire level shift in character for no reason. Honestly, it's mental, and they ramble on for a period and decide they need to bring Superman back to life. Well, Batman does, and Cyborg does, and Wonder Woman, Aquaman and Flash aren't completely convinced. And it's basically like the only scene with the Justice League together discussing anything. Literally, it's a 2-hour film, and this, however long it is, 5 minutes long scene, is the only scene where the League are together talking. The rest of the film is just individual members talking to each other. There's no real group conversation after this. This is the only one. Fuck you now. There's so much stuff cut out. It's just so rushed. It's like, literally, get the League together. Steppenwolf gets mother boxes immediately. Batman puts League together. Has one little fight. Batman goes, can't fight. Then let's bring Superman back. So that's this scene. That's where we're at. We're honestly, this film goes quicker than the fucking Flash. That's the best way I can put this. This film goes fucking quicker than the fucking Flash. ridiculous. Honestly. Just so mental.
We are not enough. Each of us in our own way is held back, and I promise you, Steppenwolf is not out there talking about ethics. He's trying to burn down the world.
Hey, so do you remember all of 10 seconds ago when fighting Steppenwolf was your plan and now you've gone completely against it? Because I do.
So after deciding really abruptly to bring Superman back to life, the Justice League break into Star Labs, which is in the crashed Kryptonian ship from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, because it has a chamber there where they can try and bring Superman back to life using the mother box that they are in possession of. They have absolutely no trouble getting in there whatsoever and are basically able to just wander around freely with absolutely no bother whatsoever and just get inside the building without anybody saying anything really, even though it is known that there are security guards there, because the Flash did have to get the Superman's body into the factory by, you know, pretending to be a guard, get fake security, going through the security checkpoint, but then other than that, they're all able to just wander around freely with no trouble whatsoever. Alright then, okay. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, the dad pretends to do a evacuation notice, but no, in this version there's no reason for nobody to be there, so they just wander around freely because the security here really fucking hate their jobs and clearly don't give much of a shit about anything. So they just wander around freely, no problems whatsoever. Also, I'm just going to show you this little joke from the Flash and the Cyborg digging up Superman's grave.
The stories Diana told us. I believe them.
Well, we gotta stop him.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay, we're not ready for racially charged.
Racially charged. Okay, fuck's sake. Whatever. This I don't know anymore. And we'll get more into Superman's. The Flash trying to fist bump Cyborg later on. Anyway, so after all of that happens, they go into the chamber and then bring Superman back to life. And that scene, for the most part, is fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's maybe a little bit too quick. I mean, granted, like I said, they just get in with there being no problems whatsoever. But other than that, the scene plays out basically how it should do. I'm not going to complain about that. So anyway, the film then goes back to showing us what it is most famous for, which it hasn't shown yet in the film apart from the very start, hasn't shown it since then, and that is Henry Cavill's face. And no, I don't mean Henry Cavill's face because it's Henry Cavill's face. I mean it's Henry Cavill's face because there's something questionable about his mouth. And when I say questionable, I mean fucking ridiculous. Now, the fight itself isn't too bad. You know, it was originally going to involve the military and be a lot longer, but considering its limited screen time, it isn't too bad, apart from you get Wonder Woman say, Kal-El, no, really unconvincingly. The Flash go, Pessimity. Okay, and so little random things like that where you're like, oh, I don't get what the point of that was. I feel like that was Joss Whedon. If it wasn't, then okay, but it feels like Joss Whedon just because of how random it is, you know, in terms of with the rest of the scene. Anyway, and there's a lot of shots in this film, in this sequence, where Superman has a normal face, because most of this scene was Zack Snyder. A lot was cut out, and some of it was Whedon, but there is quite a lot of this footage which was shot by Zack Snyder. And his face, of course, looks normal. However, in Zack's version of this film, Superman was not gonna, talk whatsoever. He was just gonna be silent throughout the whole scene and just be really sinister and come across as really terrifying because he doesn't remember anything. So he's delusional. He's all over the place. So he's acting hostile, and that's quite a cool concept. Like a dazed and confused Superman. All right, yeah, that could be cool. So all the scenes where he's not talking, all the shots, Zack Snyder shots. But don't worry, they don't last too long before we go back to this masterpiece of cinema. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. This was approved. This was in a film. People looked at this and went, yes, we're going to put this in our film. We want this scene in our film. We want the general audience to sit down with their drinks and their popcorn and their hot dog and their ice cream and their pick and mix, whatever the fuck they bought, look at the screen and be like, because they hate money and people liking them for some reason. Honestly, I think Warner Brothers at this point actually don't like money. I think that is their end goal in life, is not liking money and wanting everyone to hate them. Except from Jodie's Corner. Jodie's Corner fucking loves you. No one else does. You know, you can appease him all you want, or that sort of thing where they're just angry because Zack Snyder's bad, or Zack Snyder's fault. Zack Snyder's a racist, sexist son of a bitch who hates children and hates happiness and hates unicorns and hates rainbow sprinkle ice cream and hates pandas and wants to destroy the rainforest, and he went back in time to try and kill my parents to stop me from being born. You know, all of that shit. They can keep spouting. You can keep him, Jodie, and that, you know, those people who do that. They can keep spouting all that shit all they want. None of it's true. None of it makes sense. All of it's unfounded and absolute fucking bollocks. But no, you know, considering this film was meant to be a course correction, let's just put it this way: this film was meant to be a course correction. Not happy with what Snyder's doing? No. We're going to do things right from now on. So what did this film do? This course correction. Lost them a lot of money, was hated by the fans, created a movement against them, and the replacement directors being accused of racism and sexism, as well as the producers. I don't know a lot about business moves. I'm not a genius. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a Hollywood producer. But if I was unhappy with something that wasn't actually bad in the first place, it was just because people didn't understand the film and you cut half an hour of the film out, BVS that is, and I was like, do things differently. So what they did was make a film which massively underperformed at the box office, pissed all the fans off, created a movement against my company, and then accuse my producers and replacement writer-director of racism and sexism. I don't think I'd be best pleased with said course correction. I would think that some steps were misguided. Maybe they went off track a little bit. Maybe he was a bit misinformed. You know, maybe I'd want my business associates, advisors, employees, whoever the hell told me to do, suggested these ideas, maybe I'd want them to stop doing Class A drugs and drinking heavy alcohol during office hours. Because, yeah. So anyway, back to the face, back to the... Why do I have to talk about the mouth? Why do I have to talk about... Why? Because you have to, Jack. Okay, I'll talk about the mouth. So, Henry Cavill basically shot all his scenes for this film with Zack Snyder directing it, went off, grew a moustache for Mission Impossible 6, was told, hey, you have to come back and refilm basically every single scene you're in, for no reason. Okay, but I've got a moustache and legally I'm not allowed to shave it off. Alright, we'll CGI it out, and this is the result. This. Rogue One came out almost a full year before this film did, and that film did an entire CG Tarkin face, and even that was like 10 times better than this. This is not. No, this is shocking.
You won't let me live. You won't let me die. The world needs you.
Yep, they went there. They did the whole "do you bleed" thing. Superman asks Batman, does he bleed? Don't worry though, Lois then shows up, because that was Batman's contingency plan if Superman went apeshit mental, was bring Lois, because that would calm him down. Not a bad plan. So Superman then just chucks Batman over his shoulder, like fuck off you. Picks up Lois, fly off. Okay. And then, do you remember when I said a second ago that Superman asked Batman, do you bleed? Well, Batman responds to that question. He responds to that question. He responds audibly with his mouth, words in English to that question. And these are the words he says.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
Do you remember this scene in BVS? The whole "do you bleed" scene here?
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
And look at Batman in this film.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
Look at Batman in BVS.
Breathe it in. That's fear. You're not brave. Men are brave.
Look at Batman in this film.
And bringing in Lois Lane?
Remember what you told me about Hart in the hangar? I bet you thought I wasn't listening. Thank you.
You know you can't do this forever.
I can barely do it now.
Batman in BVS. Batman in this film.
Sorry, guys. I didn't bring a sword. Jesus. He is tall. Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
This was written. This was directed. They said to Ben Affleck, "Yes, you lie there, say these words, because we'll win Oscar for Best Picture that way." Do I have to keep talking about this? Surely there's other things I could do. I had to watch this film to do this. I had to rewatch it, and I just think I deserve a little clap, because and if you've watched this film recently as well, you deserve a clap. Just, everybody, if you've watched this film recently, unfucking believable.
Yeah. Oh, something's...
Shut the fuck up.
So anyway, they bring Superman back to life. Superman leaves with Lois, and Batman lies there being a huge derp. In the meantime, as Superman had punched through the roof of the Kryptonian ship when he came back to life, as he flew through it, the third mother box, the mother box of man, the one that the Justice League had, went through the roof with him and landed on a car in a car park. Fantastic. Genius. Well fucking done. Like, how do you mess that up? How do you do that? Why would you do that? But he does it. He does it. So, yeah, the Justice League's mother box lands on a car in a car park, and then during the whole chaos of Superman having this face and Batman doing this, Steppenwolf just boom tubes down, picks it off the car, walks off with it and leaves. You don't even get to see him take it, you just see the boom tube come down and then him go up. You don't actually get to even see him walk up to a car, go, "Oh, this was fucking easy. I love my job," and walked off with it. I criticised the other scenes for being way too, being way too easy to steal. That's a new low. That's in a car park. You found the third mother box in a car park. In a car park, that's where, if you're looking for the ultimate weapon, you check car parks, because that's where they're kept. So fucking right. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's well known that there was meant to be a battle at Star Labs, which is inside the Kryptonian ship, and Cyborg's dad was going to get killed in it, and Steppenwolf would have fucked off with the mother box then. That sounds much better, much more realistic, and makes sense. This makes no sense. This is awful. This is, that's atrocious. That's one of the worst things about the film, is that Steppenwolf, and that's saying a lot. Like, you've seen the rest of this video, you've seen how terrible this film looks, and that's one of the worst things about it, just because they couldn't even be fucking bothered to show Steppenwolf taking the last mother box. They just see a boom tube and Wonder Woman's like, "He's got the last one." And I was like, well, you shouldn't leave it in a fucking car park then, should you, you dumb fucks? Wow. You're the League to save the world, and you leave things like that in a car park. I would do a better job at protecting the mother box. I would do a better job at protecting the mother box. Me. Because I wouldn't leave it in a car park. I might be just standing there with a broom and get killed instantly, but I wouldn't leave it in a car park unattended. Anybody could have taken it. Literally, anybody could have taken it. And it's just that it happened to be Steppenwolf who took it. It's like fucking car park. Wow. Well, it's just, alright.
Okay, look, I understand they were busy dealing with Superman, and Superman was a threat, and they had to fight him, and that's why, they weren't looking for the mother box. I completely understand that. But it just bothers me a lot that once they realised they didn't know where the mother box was, they made no attempt to find it whatsoever. And then when Steppenwolf boom tubes down, they just watch him take it and make no effort to try and stop him in any way. And I just find that really stupid, that they would make literally no attempt whatsoever to try and stop him from taking the last one. And that Steppenwolf just comes and takes it. The whole scene just doesn't make any sense and feels really lazy. Like, in every way. That no attempt to save, protect the box from him. And the way Steppenwolf just arrives and takes it. The whole thing, I just really don't like it. It's really lazy and stupid.
Anyway, moving on from the stupidity to the next piece of stupidity. So after that, the Justice League regroup, and by regroup I mean stand around moping and Aquaman throws some stuff. Again, I know I said earlier, that was the other scene was the only time the Justice League get together and talk, and that's still true, because even though they're all together, they're not really talking to each other. They're just sort of Aquaman and Cyborg are angry at each other because Aquaman hates Cyborg and Cyborg doesn't like Aquaman, and the Flash just sort of stands there and is like, I want food, and Batman's like, do you talk to fish? And Wonder Woman's like, I don't like talking, so I'm just going to stand here in the corner not saying anything. So, yeah, it's not exactly brilliant in terms of if this is meant to be the huge character moment, because nothing really happens. I'm not saying there has to be scenes where every scene has to be a huge get-together moment, but considering there's only like 2 scenes where it's the League together, one of them, and both are, like, one's a really short discussion and the other one's just moping and arguing. It's not exactly fun or good or like, wow, a team or dramatic. It's not even like dramatic arguing. It's like siblings at a birthday party who hate each other arguing. You're like, this is shit. If this is this is not cool. So anyway, after that, they then realise they need to go to stop Steppenwolf in Russia. I believe it's Russia. I'm just going to say Russia. So they realise they need to go to Russia to stop Steppenwolf. And mentioning Russia, I can't believe I fucking forgot this. I forgot this. If you've watched this, you know what I'm now going to talk about. So, there's a Russian family in the film, but it keeps cutting back to, because they're meant to represent the danger that humanity is in. This random Russian family. Keep in mind this film's 1 hour 49 minutes without credits. And they spend about 5 minutes of that on a random Russian family no one cares about. For fuck's sake. Why? This film's tiring to comprehend at this point. Like, the fuck was anybody thinking? Why is there a Russian family? Why are they in the film? Like, have you seen Avengers Assemble? I'm going to assume you did. Spoiler alert, just in case, but whatever. It's 9 years old, you should have watched it by now. Anyway, so in that film, the film follows a cafe worker for a bit. There's more deleted scenes, but she's still in the film, to show the dangers humanity's in. And Captain America saves her. And then she's interviewed at the end as like, Captain America saved my life. Okay, so Joss Whedon uses random person to represent the danger humanity's in, and then they're saved, and then they get to think what a hero it is. So it tells the audience that the heroes were needed, that they were amazing, and they stopped evil by showing them being at threat, and the hero saving them. Okay, Avengers Age of Ultron, also written and directed by Joss Whedon. Okay, so it follows a random girl and her son to show that the danger that humanity's in, and that they need to be saved by heroes, and then they can show how amazing the heroes are, how they were needed by saving them from the threat that humanity was in. Or the danger from a threat. Okay. It's the same thing. Exact same thing. Okay, fine, whatever. Justice League. Mostly directed and written by Joss Whedon. Okay, so what's in this film? So there's a random Russian family that the film follows to show that the danger that humanity's in, so they need to be saved by the heroes, to show that the heroes were needed and they're amazing, and to protect, to show the world that to show the audience that the world needed saving from the threat by these heroes. 3 times in a fucking row, you do the exact same thing. It's like Joss Whedon doesn't know how else to show danger other than follow random person or random pair or random group that nobody gives a flying fuck about, to then show them in danger, to then show that the heroes save them, to show that the heroes are needed, to protect them from that danger, and these characters are fucking useless, nobody gives a shit, why are they taking up so much screen time? Not only that, in each film, because obviously, like I said, everything was a lot of the cafe workers in the first Avengers film was deleted. So it's one human with like a minute of screen time. Fair enough. The second film is 2 humans with like two minutes of screen time. Alright. Third time round, 4 humans with like 5 minutes of screen. Stop fucking increasing it as well. Well, I mean, no offence, I can't imagine Joss Whedon's ever going to do a film again with the racism, the sexism, and this film. It's not. I can't imagine him doing anything else. Which, you know, good thing. But if he were to, let's say in an alternate reality where he hadn't been accused of sexism and racism and all of these things, and the only bad thing on his record was this film, what the fuck would have he done in the next film? It would have been like 10 people, 15 minutes of screen time, and you still wouldn't have given a shit. Also, vissing. Bug spray. Okay, yeah, good little. I found that funny when I first watched it because I thought it was like hard bug spray. Now when I watch it, I think the fuck. Also, they board the windows. They board the wind. They're fucking parademons. And this is the thing, is that parademons just stand there. They're like, oh, the windows are being boarded. Oh, okay. I don't know what to do now. So we're just going to stand here for a week, looking at the house, with our incredible strength and our capability of flying and our laser guns. But no, he put a fucking wardrobe in front of fucking glass, and that's enough to deter them. You fucking hell, the Justice League aren't needed. Right? The Justice League aren't needed. Wardrobes stop parademons. Had the world just fucking boarded their windows, nothing would have happened. Parademons, because they're scared of wood, apparently. What? Why? What? Literally, fucking boarded the windows and the parademons just stand there like a bunch of fucking derps. Like, do you have a plan B? What was plan A? Was it a plan A? What was plan B? Do we need a plan C? I don't know. Because they just stand there on the fucking building like, I can't get in the window. Why not try breaking it? I can't break it. Why? There's a wardrobe there. Oh. Okay. We'll just stand here for a week and not do anything. And then hopefully they'll come outside. Good idea. Awesome. Parademon. Honestly, like, one of them could just fly straight through the window at full power, just bash the cupboard out the way, and then eat them all. And then there's the little girls, you know, fucking spraying it with bug spray. It will just, like, rip a head off, eat it in one bite, and then, like, go, yes, because I'm a good parademon. I actually do my fucking job. It's so stupid. It's so fucking ridiculous. And it's not like they don't know they're in there. It's not like they boarded the window. The parademon literally was like, hey, there's a girl in here. Okay. Also, they smell fear. In Whedon's cut, if you're going to make them smell fear, actually attract a fucking fear. You fucking idiot. Like, why? And the amount of screen time on these people who nobody gives a fucking shite about is ridiculous. Now, I don't want to be mean to the actors and actresses who are part of that family. I don't want to be mean to the little girl. It's cool that she got to be in a film, and I understand that, and I can understand why she would tell her friends, hey, I get to be in a Justice League film. But after watching it, you probably don't want to tell your friends you were in a Justice League film, because the chances are, if you didn't tell people, nobody would ever fucking know. Because nobody gave a shit. Like, fuck's sake. Right, okay, so anyway. So, after the Russian family rant there, the Justice League then decide we need to go to Russia because we need to stop Steppenwolf from creating a unity, even though I swear Steppenwolf said you can't do it earlier. Whatever. So they go to Russia. They're in, fuck me. This film is so much it's so much stupid shite to ramble on about. Fucking hell. Okay, so, sorry. The Justice League then unite, and you know what? There is a cool shot of them going up to the Flying Fox, and it's cool. It is a good shot. I do like it. It is dramatic. I do feel like that was a Snyder shot, so, yeah, that would explain why. So they go in the Flying Fox, and they fly to Russia to face Steppenwolf one last final time, or as I like to call it, the second time after a really brief encounter under Gotham Harbour. Dramatic, go, fight him. Yes, and they seem to forget about Superman as well. That plan really didn't work as far as they're concerned. They don't even really acknowledge it, apart from Aquaman gets really pissed off at the fact that they brought Superman back to life, Superman fucked off, and then they remembered they left the mother box in a car park and Steppenwolf stole it. Yeah. None of this last part would have happened had they not left the mother box in a car park. I'm liking the Snyder Cut. There's an actual battle for it and Steppenwolf takes it. That's cool. Because that's him going, no, mine, I'm taking, I've defeated you. Whereas this is like, yay! You might as well have like Motherbox Go on your phone and just be like, oh, here's one. Oh yeah, pick it up, fucked off with it. Right, so they go to do the final confrontation of the second confrontation, and the first confrontation was a really brief confrontation. So they then go to Russia, but before we get to see them in Russia and get to see the big final battle, which is really hard to say with a straight face, we then get a scene with Superman and Lois. Now this could be lovely. This could be amazing. We could have such a good wholeheartedly amazing moment between this beautiful couple who have been finally reunited and are so in love, and they're going to now have children, and then his mum arrives, and it's a big old-fashioned family reunion, going to be fucking amazing, and this is the dialogue we get.
This is home.
You smell good.
Did I not before?
What was it like? Coming back?
Itchy.
Also this.
And I get the exclusive.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't do this. This is like the worst. How the fuck did I ever find any enjoyment out of this piece of shit? The first 5 minutes alone are fucking awful. And then the film's another 1 hour, 44 minutes without credits. Some of those minutes are good. Some of those minutes are good. A lot of those minutes are this and this and this and this and this and this and this. and this and this and this. Just terrible, terrible, terrible shit that nobody fucking asked for. And we have this fine, you know, we could have a I can't even say it. That's how, like, why, what, we could finally have an amazing moment between Lois and Superman and Martha Kent in this film, because they've had amazing moments in other films, but we could finally have a brilliant moment between these three characters. This is the first time they've spoken since Superman fucking died, and that is what we get. Why the fuck did Joss Whedon think any of this was a good idea? How? How? You, watching this, you would make a better Justice League film than this, right? Because you might not have the expertise or the knowledge or know how to spend $300 million on a film, but I highly doubt if you watched it and you saw that this is what you had made, you would then think, yes, this is my full potential, this is what I want to release to the public. You'd probably think, holy fuck, I need to do a lot of this again, because this film is fucking bollocks. Also, speaking of, you know, Lois and Martha Kent, they also had a lovely, heartfelt scene earlier on in the film.
But it's not like there's any less that needs reporting. And Clark promised me you were going to bring home another Pulitzer.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yes, he did. He said that you were the thirstiest young woman he ever met. Hungriest.
Yeah.
Thirstiest young. Why? You wrote this. Joss Whedon wrote. Joss Whedon, you wrote this. You direct. You filmed this. You were like, yeah, I'm gonna put this in my film. It's gonna be great. Oh God. The only thing that could have been going through anybody's mind who thought this was a good film to release is that cocaine is the best fucking drug ever made. There is no other way anybody would fucking watch this and go, this is what I want to put in my film. This is the film I want to release. I want to have my name on this. And this film's going to be amazing. It's going to make $2 billion at the box office. It's going to be better than Avengers Assemble, which was also written by Joss Whedon. What the fuck? Although I feel like, you know, the other films did all the work for him. He would have had help, and all he had to do was direct pretty visuals. So, yeah. This to me is what Joss Whedon is like when he's fully unleashed. This is Joss Whedon's fucking ego as a film. This film should be called Justice League, The Ego, because it is just ego, and it's really fucking shit. Fuck me. An 8-year-old, the producers must have been 8-year-olds, because an 8-year-old would enjoy this. I try to enjoy it. I'll talk about that more after I've wrapped up talking about every little detail of, well, not every little detail. I'd be here for 10 hours if I pointed out how every little thing is so fucking stupid. But, you know, sorry, I've got to, you know, speed it up. I know, I'm sorry. So, we get them together, we get the Justice League, we get Steppenwolf taking the third mother box, which was shit. We get the Justice League going to Russia, which was shit. We get Superman and his mum, which was shit. We get them, you know, on their way to Russia, which is the funniest scene in the film, in all fairness. That was quite funny, with Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth. Although the shots look really fucking awkward. Nobody seems like they want to be there, and then they're in Russia. We finally got to Russia. We're in the final battle now. The big confrontation. The big final battle. And do you want to know what the big final battle in this film has in common with the majority of the rest of the film? It is fucking shit!
So the League arrive in Russia, and oh my god, look how overblown all that red is. That looks awful. It's just way too bright and shiny. Look, like, why does it need to be that bright? And you can tell they did it later on, because it just looks so edited in and like so post-production. It's absolutely atrocious. That just looks awful. Why would you do that? Batman then breaks through the shield and takes down the tower to allow the whole shield to collapse, which then allows the Justice League to get through. And that sequence is pretty good. I mean, if you ignore the horrible colours and the, really, really underwhelming score, it's not too bad. And then it leads to a relatively cool scene with the Batmobile. But then, of course, this is the only other time in the film where the whole parademons are attracted to this weird siren sound comes into play. And trust me, it's still not very interesting. At all.
Alright, Alfred, we set the broadcast. Playing all your favorite hits. Come on, follow me, you damn insects. Thought this through.
Also, I just got to ask, what is it with all these purple roots? They literally make no sense. They serve no purpose in the film. They're only in it for the sake of, well, the sake. We also unfortunately get to spend even more time with the Russian family, because that's what we really, really want. Said nobody fucking ever. But aside from that, there are quite a few good moments throughout this action chase scene here. With the outside portion of the end battle scene, there are a few good moments. But there are also some terrible moments, but there are some good moments. So fortunately, this little bit here isn't a complete and utter dumpster fire.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man!
So after the outdoor portion of the final confrontation, we get to the indoor portion, which is when this entire sequence really starts to fall apart. It is just absolutely filled with bad CGI and terrible dialogue from essentially every single character. Steppenwolf looks weird. There's some good moments of action, I'll give it that. I'm not going to be, be in denial about the fact there are some good moments of entertaining action. However, for the most part, it is just really lackluster. The score's really boring, and everything just looks really unconvincing, and the colour is still terrible and looks awful. Also, after a few minutes of fighting Steppenwolf, and it's being clear that the Justice League are struggling to defeat him, Superman shows up and has an interesting entrance. Shall we just leave it at that?
You're all too weak to see the truth.
Well, I believe in truth. But I'm also a big fan of justice.
Yeah, that's not amazing. That's pretty shit. And also his face, and his face just looks so awful throughout this entire thing. And also, look at Batman's reaction to Superman showing up. What the fuck is that look? Oh my god, that is absolutely fucking atrocious. That is awful. And Superman's face is awful for basically nearly every shot of this fight, because most of this was Joss Whedon reshoots. Basically nearly this entire fight was a Joss Whedon reshoot, or at least very edited to how Joss Whedon would want it to be. It's very quippy, but the quips are fucking shit. The whole thing's rushed, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it's all in all about 10 minutes in length, which on one hand's a good thing because it means it's fucking short. On the other hand, why is it that fucking short? So it's just like, Oh god, whatever. Also this bit here.
So, how do I help?
We buy him some time. He can stop that box from destroying all life on Earth. We hope.
Well, I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me.
I don't. Not.
Fuck off. Fuck right off. That is fucking shite. Wow. I truly cannot believe that they fucking put that in there. What the hell? Oh my god. Right, whatever. Okay. And then Superman and Flash, and then after Superman beats the shit out of Steppenwolf for a minute, because that's the other thing. Steppenwolf doesn't even really land a punch in this entire sequence. He just sort of gets fucking derped by Superman every 5 seconds. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so then Superman then goes to help the Flash. Help civilians escape, including the Russian family, who, if you ask me, should have just died in a fiery wreck in that fucking truck. Sorry, they just pissed me right off. We get some CGI, whatever, with that sequence as well, and then we get the Flash saving the family, and we get this scene here.
Dostoevsky!
There's a lot of memes made out of that, and it's a good thing to make a meme out of, because it's really fucking bad. Like most of this here. Fucking hell. I just can't get over the, like... Why? At what point do you think that these are good ideas? Why would you think they're good ideas? Surely if you were told, make it funny and make it less dark, you would still think, okay, well, I'm going to keep a lot of cool action in, but I'm actually going to add in some quips that are funny, not take out every cool bit of action, make everything look incredibly weak, and just add in some of the fucking cringiest, shittiest writing in the history of ever. Wow. Alright, and then Superman shows back up and then completely fucking wrecks Steppenwolf again with absolutely no problem. Cyborg pulls apart the mother boxes with the help of Superman, and there's a load of blowback which injures the both of them. Not fatally, just hurts them, and in that entire sequence we clearly get to see who Bruce's favourite out of those two are.
Oh yeah, Victor's fine. Don't worry about him at all, you dickhead. Also, as well as the stupidity of this whole thing, this shot here just looks awful.
So now that Steppenwolf's plan has basically been thwarted by the League really easily, he gets pretty much pissed off and does some cool stuff, and by that I mean he just punches Flash and he hits a wall quite hard. The League then come together for one last time to properly defeat him this time. And, you know, there's a little bit of show of power. Superman uses ice breath for the first time. And Wonder Woman destroys his sword. Now, do you remember the thing at the start of the review I mentioned about how Joss Whedon added in that power demons could smell fear and were attracted to it and it will attack things which are scared? Right? Yeah, this reason here is why he added that. I'm now going to show you a clip from the children's animated film, The Rise of the Guardians, because in this clip it shows how the villain Pitch Black, also known as the Boogeyman, was defeated at the end of that film.
You can't get rid of me. Not forever. There will always be fear.
So what? As long as one child believes, we will be here to fight fear.
Really? Then what are they doing here?
They can't be my nightmares, I'm not afraid. Looks like it's your fear they smell.
What?
Now I'm going to show you the clip of how Steppenwolf was defeated at the end of this film.
This cannot be.
Recognize that smell?
Fear. No! Leave me! Get off me! I command you!
I now think that Joss Whedon was watching The Rise of the Guardians when writing the script for this film, and it went, yes, that is how you defeat a villain. You have his own fear-seeking army turn on him because he's got the heebity-jeebities of the main fucking hero group. I mean, just how shit is that? I mean, okay, maybe this fact they can smell fear is interesting, but you wouldn't surely make it powerful enough where they fucking turn on you if something spooks you. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh my god, it's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It also is like Scar and the Hyenas of the Lion King in terms of just having the army turn on him and just be like, lunch. And it's their fucking boss. What the fuck is that? In the original version, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Wonder Woman was meant to behead Steppenwolf. And Steppenwolf's head was meant to roll on the ground, a boom tube was meant to open up, and Darkseid was meant to appear, hinting at Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. In this film, we get the fucking derpiest fucking way a supervillain has been defeated in a superhero film. It's so fucking stupid. His own army turns on him because he was spooked by the Justice League. What the fuck? I mean, surely Wonder Woman could have killed him. There's no reason why Wonder Woman could have, shouldn't have killed him. There's no reason. That's not too dark. That's not too anything. Wonder Woman should have fucking killed him. Or Aquaman. Or whatever. Should have been something other than that. Because that in itself, just the way he was defeated there, was fucking ridiculous. Also, where the hell did all these parademons come from? Where were they 2 minutes ago when Steppenwolf was having the absolute shit kicked out of him? And the League were winning by a fucking mile because Superman showed up and just started twatting him. Where was this 1,000 parademon army? That could have been useful to Steppenwolf because they were all there when Superman wasn't there and the League were really struggling. But as soon as Superman shows up, there's no fucking parademons. But then all of a sudden they all just seem to be standing there and then go, oh, our leader's scared, so we're going to eat him now. Yay. Like, the fuck is that? What is that? That's fucking stupid. That is really lazy, and I did not like that. If they had explained it a bit better, or put more time into it, or maybe made the rest of the film more dramatic, it could have been more dramatic and worked a little bit better. However, just on its own merit, just how rushed everything is, and then them introducing an entire plot point just to do that, that's just shit. And they don't even acknowledge it the rest of the film, really. It's just for that thing there. It's just a reason for Steppenwolf to have an alternate demise, should we say. But yeah, other than that, it's lazy. It was done really poorly, and honestly, The Rise of the Guardians did it a lot better than this film did. And that's a children's animated film. That did it 10 times better than this film did. Honestly, the way this film deals with so much, like 80% of the stuff it deals with, it does it really poorly, really lazily, and half-heartedly. Couldn't give a shit. It's just a corporate film trying to make money, trying to sell toys, doesn't really give a shit about the people watching it, and it shows, and it's not very good, and they don't deserve the money, any money they got from this, which I don't think they got any from it. So yeah, Warner Brothers. That's what this is meant to be like. This is meant to be on par with Avengers. This is meant to be, like I said, their Avengers beta. Like, fucking hell, this film's like a really shit start to a rushed cinematic universe. It's like, it's worse than Green Lantern, and I don't hate Green Lantern, but it's worse than Green Lantern. It's the worst film in the DCEU. And there's a lot of great films in the DCEU. Like I said, I love Man of Steel, I love Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, I really enjoy Aquaman, Wonder Woman and Shazam. There's a lot of good films, but fuck me. This film, Justice League 2017, is fucking shit. Honestly, and this ending is just another reason, and the way the villain's defeated, and the way it all just wraps up with all of these really fucking stupid bright colours and weird flowers growing because sunlight and joy and no reason for it whatsoever, considering the alien life was meant to be horrifying, yet so why is there fucking rainbow flowers? And then another shot of the Russian family is just another fucking reason to think this film is shit. And now, The Flash finally gets his character arc, finished, finally goes full circle. He has an amazing resolution to his huge story arc, and that is that he finally gets Cyborg to fucking fist bump him. And I know that is in Zack Snyder's version, because it's in the trailers, and that's fine. I don't have anything against Flash wanting to fist bump Cyborg, but that's his arc. That is in this film. That is his entire arc. Is just getting Cyborg to fist bump him. That's it. That's his journey on this film. Is getting the Cyborg to give him a fist bump because he wants to be friends with him. Honestly, this film is so lazy. It's so short. It's so rushed. It's so corporate driven. It's so bad looking. It's so underwhelming. The score's like the score for free editing software. Everything about it. Literally, that's what the score is. It's like dramatic music number 5 of a free editing software. The whole thing is just corporate babble drivel. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't any positives, and I'll talk about those more in a second, but just to wrap up that final scene, is fucking shit. And then the film continues on for a minute. There's a joke between Batman and Superman, which is pretty funny. And then it just shows the heroes doing things as individuals, with Lois Lane narrating, and then the final shot is Superman going into the air, and then the film ends, and then there's a mid-credit scene, which is just a fucking joke about Superman and Flash trying to race each other, and then there's an end-credit scene which sets up a Justice League 2, which will never happen because this film will never have a fucking sequel. Hopefully Zack Snyder's Justice League will have a sequel, but this film will never have a fucking sequel, and I really fucking hope this version doesn't. I hope to God Zack Snyder's Justice League gets a sequel, because that's the version that deserves a sequel. So, that's how I feel about all of the entire film in terms of nitpicking a little detail. Like I said, the finale is incredibly rushed and underwhelming and shitty, like most of the film is, and then it just ends on them all sort of like being happy, they're going on separate journeys, and just ends on that. Has a mid-credit scene which is a jokey thing, and an end-credit scene which won't go anywhere, because this film's never getting a sequel. But as I said, I hope Zack Snyder's Justice League gets a sequel. But anyway, like I said, that's me done talking about it in detail. I know it's very long. I know this video will end up being almost as long, if not as long, or even longer than the film itself. It's just there's so much to talk about. I'll probably talk about it more in the future as well, because there is just so much to talk about. The negatives: bad CGI, bad plot placing, bad dialogue, lazy, terrible jokes, inconsistent, rushed, cheap, fake feeling, lack of story, lack of emotion, lack of heart. Just a very committee-based film just trying to make money, and it was really bad and didn't work at all. Unlike what Zack Snyder was trying to do with Man of Steel, did do with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. A lot of heart, a lot of story, great CGI, a lot of emotion, so much character, not committee-based, heart-based, amazing, brilliant films. This film, Justice League 2017, is not that. Not directed by Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon film. So there you go. That's how I feel all about that. so many negatives, like I said, like all of those things there. There are some positives, and I'm going to say, you know, there is some good action, enjoyable action sequences, a few bits of cool action. There is a couple jokes which do make me laugh, and there are some moments where I'm like, yeah, that was cool. And this is the biggest positive for me, is the cast. Now, the dialogue, the characters and everything like that might be bad. However, I look at the cast and I think, yes, you are perfect casting choices for a live-action Justice League. And that's why I really, well, not just why, but one of the reasons why I really, really can't wait for Zack Snyder's Justice League is because, you know, like I said, if they're a great cast in this film, imagine how great a cast, you know, if they're a great cast in a film this bad, imagine how great a cast they would be in a film that's great. So, that's how I feel about all of that. Now, quick, you know, just little story time about this film. Just, you know, I went to watch it at the cinema. I was 15. I'd only been 15 for a couple months. And I wanted to love this film. I wanted this film to be better than Avengers Assemble. I wanted this film to be the best film in the DC Extended Universe. I wanted to believe it was finally a triumph and it would finally get over the critic scores which had been weighing the DC Extended Universe down up until that point. This is before I realised that they don't fucking matter. And you know what? I believed it. I convinced myself this film was amazing. Although I knew it wasn't. I knew it was incredibly basic. And even back then I said, oh, it's fun. It's basic. It's this. But I wouldn't say I thought it was incredible. But I wanted to think it was. And I was trying to get, like, yeah, it's good. It's better than Avengers. It's good. And I knew it wasn't. I just so wanted it to be. I know that's shit. But like I said, I was 15. I wanted the DC to be doing really well and really cool and everyone to like it. So, you know, but the more I found out about things, the more I talked about it and the more I think about it in terms of now and comparing it to what has come out with the Snyder Cut and comparing, as I gotten older, rewatching Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, which just get better and better every time you watch it. This film just gets Justice League, this version of Justice League just gets worse and worse every time you watch it. And this is what I would say, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition have aged like a fine wine or a whiskey or a scotch. This film, Justice League, has aged like an opened can of cheap diet lager that was left out in the hot sun and it had never been in a fridge at any point in its life. Like, that's how badly this film has aged. It's awful, truly shit. I was just trying to convince myself that I liked it. I wouldn't have so convinced myself that I liked it, but I was oblivious to the fact it was bad. And it's the opposite with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, was that I wasn't, like, there wasn't flaws, but I was oblivious to just how amazing the little things were. And like I said, now I've gotten older, talked to other people, things like that, I now realise that Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition are two of the best films ever made, and I adore them. I've been part of this movement since the very beginning. Within a week of the film coming out, with all the little rumours about things being different, I was on board. I didn't know how different, I didn't know if it was just an extended cut to begin with, I didn't know what, but as soon as I heard there was more footage out there and realised there was, looking back on the trailers, within a day, I was in on it. I was, yes, let's get a longer version of this film, and then a better version, and a completely different film. Whatever the fuck it was, I knew I wanted it. And the more I know about it, the more I knew about it, and the more I got older over these 3 years, the more I've wanted it, the more I needed it. And I can't wait to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just for context, if you're probably wondering, why does his hair look different? Why is his maybe facial hair look different? Maybe anything like that. This is because this video has been filmed over the course of like 2 weeks. I've actually filmed this video in between my Aquaman review, Shazam review, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn review, and Wonder Woman 1984 review. And I was literally just trying to match my attire for like 10 minutes at a time whilst I filmed each clip to edit. My intention with these videos was to get them all out before the film's release, as in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm not going to be able to do that, because this is actually, like, gone past 10 PM on Wednesday the 17th at the time of filming this. Actually, Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming up tomorrow morning, and I'll be watching it obviously tomorrow morning. Can't fucking wait. I'm desperate to watch it. But yeah, and that's sort of why I've wrapped this up quickly, is because I wanted to get this video done before the films come out, because I didn't want to, you know, watch that film and think, wow, that was amazing, and then think, oh yeah, and we got to go back to talking about this one. I'm happy to edit it, and I'm going to edit it, obviously, and upload it. I just didn't want to keep doing this, if that makes sense. But, so yeah, so I'm sorry about that. It was because of some stress and some not being able to do it, and then there was an issue with uploading BVS. Sorted now, all fine, is up the channel at the moment of speaking. I've got Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman ready to go, Aquaman and Shazam are edited. I just got to proof watch them. Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One, Harley Quinn, got to edit. Wonder Woman 1984, got to edit. But other than that, nearly done. So, just so you know though, if you're watching this, and in my other videos, like, I can't wait to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, keep in mind that's because I filmed all of the other videos 110% done before filming this one. Apart from maybe one little edit on Suicide Squad video, I don't know if I'll do that. I'll see what I think about it, but that will just be a little insertion. That won't be me talking, that will be just clip and a text, if that makes sense. So, clip and text, sorry. But yes, sorry to wrap this all up. Overall, this film, Justice League, is a pile of dog shit. I wanted to like it, couldn't. Well, I tried to, but now as I've gotten older, I can't. It's just a really fucking shit film. One of the worst comic book films ever made. Is it the worst? No, because, you know, you got Batman and Robin, you got Catwoman, you got Superman 4, you got Steel, things. I haven't even watched Superman 4 and Steel. I've just looked at enough of them and I'm gone like, I don't even need to. So it's not the worst. It can't be the worst because there's some bad films out there. Some really bad comic book films. I'm trying to think of another one that I've watched that was really bad. Chances are, if you're screaming a really obvious one to me, so I haven't watched it. So, yeah, it's not the worst comic book film ever, but considering what it could have been, I would say this is the biggest letdown ever. Then again, Batman and Robin. It's probably on par with Batman and Robin. No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I'm actually really exhausted right now, sorry. But, yeah, it's bad. It's a complete failure, everything it tried to be. It's short and shitty is the best way to describe it. Like I said, there are some good moments. Like I said, some action, some scenes are funny, some scenes stand out in my head. The cast are good, and I do like Come Together cover that was actually done by Junkie XL and Gary Clark Jr. before fucking Danny Elfman came in and wrote the... I love Danny Elfman, but this score is like the worst, most underwhelming score in the history of worst underwhelming scores. Literally everything this film tried to be fair. I believe everything Ray Fisher says. I believe that Joss Whedon came onto this film with the intention of proving a point by saying, well, if people like this film, they'll like Age of Ultron, so I'm going to make this film more like Age of Ultron and take everything people didn't like about that film and dial up to 11, because there's jokes from Age of Ultron in this film. The film doesn't work. It's really bad. I believe because like Joss Whedon's known for having a huge fucking ego. So you give a guy with that ego and say, "Hey, write and direct two of the biggest films ever made." Imagine what they'll do, and then the rival company says, "Hey, we want you to redirect our answer to the films you did." Obviously, Justice League's an older concept, and I'm not saying DC copied Marvel because I don't believe that. I believe Marvel copied DC. But I'm just saying in terms of this is the rivalry. This is the rivalry to Avengers, the same way Avengers is the rivalry to this. So him thinking, "Oh, I get to do both," would probably fuck up his mind, considering he was like, "Yeah, I did amazing with the first one. People didn't like the second one, but that's their fault. It's not my fault. It's not because the film might not be actually as good as I think it is. It's because everybody else is dumber. So I'm going to do the same thing with this film and make it a fucking shit piece of fuck." and you'll love it. So, this film, not good. I wouldn't recommend it in terms of buying it to watch it and enjoying it. I might recommend you watch it in terms of for educational purposes, to compare and to realise, like, so how different is it from Zack Snyder's Justice League? Oh my god, it's that fucking different. Wow. Or, why did they want to fight for another... What was so wrong with this film where it's decided to cause a 3-year movie? Oh, that's what's so wrong with this film. Those are the only times I would ever recommend this film. For the experience of it. Not in a good way. Like, the same way I'd recommend Batman and Robin. Although I don't think it is as bad as Batman and Robin. I can't say that because Batman and Robin's on a whole another level of... what the fuck were you thinking? So... yeah, but it's only a shade above it. I wanted to like it, I just can't now, and I don't want to anymore. I don't even want to try and like it. Zack Snyder's Justice League's coming out tomorrow. It's coming out in a few hours' time, so why the fuck would I try and like this film? So, anyway, wrapping up my review. Film quality... 5.5? 5... I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10 because of the cast. Just because of the cast. 5.5 out of 10. And its entertainment value is 6 out of 10, again because of the cast. I said I like the cast. There are some action scenes where you're like, yeah, I get well, you, that's fun, whatever, but fuck me, this, just so you know, before you think, that's quite a high score for a film which you've just bashed. Anything below 5 for me is when the film is like, uncomprehendibly bad. Like, Batman and Robin would still be a 4.5 out of 10 on the basis the camera's pointing in the right direction. I don't think a film could be 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 would have to be broken audio, camera not working, somebody catching fire, like level of, yeah, this isn't good at all. So, yeah, it's not that bad. It's fucking bad. But at least the camera's pointing in the right direction, although that actually might have improved the film had the camera not been pointing in the right direction. Especially when it came to Henry Cavill's face, but either way, there you go. Sorry, this is taking a while. I just wanted to talk about this film. I'm probably going to talk about it again after I've watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm going to obviously review that first, but just to be like, because this film is only going to get worse, and that's the thing. This film's never going to get better. This film's never going to get a revitalisation of, oh, it's not that, no, it's just going to get worse. It's gone from, like, to the general audience's eyes, oh, it's okay, fun blood fraud, oh, it's not very good, oh, it's fucking shit, oh, what the fuck were they thinking? It's only going to go down that road. It's never going to get improved, especially with Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out, and especially if they do restore the Snyderverse, which they should do. It's just going to make this film look even worse. So, in fact, I might give it a lower score in future because of that. But at the moment, 5.5 out of 10 film quality, 6 out of 10 entertainment value. If anything, just so you can look at it and be like, the fuck, this it's a great film to laugh at and be like, huh? So, there you go. That's my review for Justice League, written and directed by Joss Whedon. I wouldn't recommend it apart from educational purposes. So I'm not going to recommend... I've got the 4K and Blu-ray, but I'm not going to recommend you buy that. I'm not going to rent it on... If you're desperate to watch it for whatever reason, just fucking rent it. Don't own a copy. It's not worth it. Or if it's free, which because I can't imagine again, this is going to be like popular on demand anymore, unless they do realise that people might want to look at it to compare. But yeah, just don't. If you're going to spend money on it, don't spend anything more than like £4. Don't. Just whatever. Actually, then again, if you see a Blu-ray of it for like 99p, then maybe. So, just for comparison reasons, that's the only reason I'd recommend this film. It's not a good film. I don't like it. The more I think about it, the more I don't like it. I've gone, like I said, from trying to love it to fucking just, I've given up. I have no reason to, and I love the Snyderverse more than I ever have. And I'm so glad to be part of the movement. I'm so glad to have helped get the film release. I'm so glad to have met the people I've met along the way. And I'm so glad to have gotten other people involved. And I'm glad to continue to do these things. Not promoting myself, I'm just saying I'm glad that I did those things. And this is the best thing I've ever done. In terms of the thing I'm most proud of. This is what I'm most proud of. And the fact that I get to say that I was part of something this big, something this successful, something this amazing, it means the fucking world to me. You all deserve a huge, clap, pat on the back. Any rewards that come your way through this, you deserve it. Well done. Released the Snyder Cut, but that's a bit out of date now. So restore the Snyderverse. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Zack Snyder, Snyderverse, Snyder Cut, DC, whatever. AT&T, HBO Max, Warner Media. All of those directors, filmmakers, storytelling and storytellers. Whatever you want to hashtag it. Just do it. Get the message out there. Restore the Snyderverse. Make more Zack Snyder's Justice League films. And just let films like this stay where they belong. Which is in the what the fuck happened in history. So, there you go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it somewhat interesting. I'm sorry about the length, but again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found that palatable, and I hope you found some of the things that I tried to be funny with humorous. So, again, thank you for watching. This film's not good. Wouldn't recommend it. Just can't wait for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in my next video, and goodbye.
No dying. And I get the exclusive.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?